Hi everyone, my name is Junon. I have a health science background and I'm the author of the book Truth and Empathy, How to Find Your Soulmate. And I'll put a link to the book below. This video is about why soulmates should be very similar to each other. I've heard people say that any well-developed MBTI personality type can have a successful romantic relationship with any other type, or that opposites attract. But I think that if we look at the statistics, and even in terms of the reason why divorce occur, it has to do with irreconcilable differences. In other words, it takes a serious disagreement for people to part ways because divorce is very painful often and very expensive. So people don't do that lightly. If we look at MBTI theory, we can easily predict where most people will struggle if they're too different. The first aspect has to do with their energy level. So certain personality types, the intuitives, have a higher energy than sensors. And the most extreme ones are the judges. So if you look at, let's say, the ENTJ or the INFJ compared to, let's say, the ISFJ or the ESTJ, is that they are at opposite ends when it comes to the energy. And ultimately, when we do anything in life, it is to increase our sense of well-being, which is very much linked to our energy level. Intuitives, specifically introvert intuitives who have introverted intuition either at their first or second function stack, tend to have the highest energy. Whereas, let's say, sensor judgers, especially the ones who are left brain dominant, have along the lowest energy, because if you look at their brainwave dominance, it is beta versus the intuitives who have either an alpha, so alpha, or even theta when it comes to the INFJ. So if you combine them, what's going to happen is that the person with the highest energy will feel drained. Whereas if you combine an intuitive with most sensors, the intuitive will feel a drop in their energy, and over time they can become physically sick. So that's why we need to really pay attention to that. The other aspect that may create a lot of conflict has to do with the fact that some personality types are feelers and others are thinkers. Feelers are right brain dominant and they usually do well when it comes to their relation. So in other words, they are people oriented, whereas thinkers who are left brain dominant are object oriented. So when you actually try to combine both, the person who's a feeler usually feels shortchanged because they don't feel that the thinker really understands their reality on an emotional and spiritual level. So that also we need to take into consideration. The other point also is whether a person is a judger versus a perceiver. So judgers tend to be organized, they are hardworking, they like to plan well, and so forth. So they need a partner that they can rely on. By contrast, perceivers need to enjoy whatever task they engage in, and they're less reliable, reachable, and also they're the type of people who feel energized by changing their schedule at the last minute, and judges do not appreciate that. So the challenge with any long-term romantic relationship is that it has to work logistically. That's why often judges struggle with being mated with perceivers. In other words, any romantic relation that doesn't work long-term usually falls into these three main categories, whether in terms of energy level, they're incompatible, whether one is a thinker versus the other one is a feeler, so they don't have, they say, the people skills necessary to actually, understand each other. The other aspect has to do with how they organize their lives. Being an introvert extrovert can be worked on, but not these other aspects, especially if the people involved are at the extreme ends. So in other words, couples who are happily mated are usually very similar to each other. In other words, like attract like. So let me know if you agree or disagree with the content of this video by commenting below. If you like this video, if you learned something, please click on the like button. Also remember to click on the notification bell to be notified of the videos I'm going to be making. Subscribe to my channel, and we will talk soon.